Hello and welcome to KMTV, your roundup of what's going on in Kent on Friday, May the 22nd. One of the most powerful earthquakes in the UK for years has hit Kent overnight. Kieran Court reports from Ramsgate.
Well, the quake struck Kent just before 3 this morning, with the magnitude measuring 4.2 on the Richter scale. It's been confirmed that the epicentre of it was near to this town. Many people who live here have told me it woke them up from their sleep, along with thousands of others across the county.
Yeah, it's a bit strange. I didn't really know what was happening, of course, and I think the word earthquake popped into my mind, but I think that I wasn't actually aware that that actually was what it was, if you know what I mean. So.
Well, actually, I didn't even realise that there was any earthquake. I actually slept through it, but which is unusual because I am quite a light sleeper. So
I vaguely remember hearing a bang or something. I can't find anything lying on the floor in my house, so yeah, definitely something woke me up last night.
Police say there are no reports of any injuries, but they're continuing to monitor the situation.
A man's died after a serious crash in Hearne near Canterbury. Jem Collins is there for KMTV.
As you can see behind me, the road here in Hearne is still closed this morning after a 19-year-old from Herne Bay died in a crash just after 2 a.m. this morning. A 24-year-old from Canterbury has also been arrested on suspicion of dangerous driving and driving with excess breath alcohol. Another man has also been taken to hospital with serious injuries, and police are still appealing for anyone with any information. This is Jem Collins in Herne Bay for KMTV.
It was an historic night in Thanet as the country's first UKIP council met with Manston Airport, a key part of debates. Graham Stothard was there.
An historic night indeed. After adequate pomp and ceremony, councillors took their seats and they got on with it. The kippers there, the mandate is clear.
The eyes of the country will be on us, and we hope to be, in the words of our leader, we want to be boring. We don't want to be controversial.
He's talking about Chris Wells' statement that they aim to be the most boring council in the world, to get their heads down and work on behalf of all the people in Thanet. Whether or not that can be achieved with Manston bubbling in the background remains to be seen. Last night the council decided to review a decision by the previous administration not to pursue a compulsory purchase order of the site, although the former leader still has her doubts as to whether a CPO can ever be achieved.
So the promises right up to election day that they were going to actually CPO the airport within 7 days, or the Conservatives within a day, I don't know how they're going to keep that promise.
That would be a big blow for the UKIP council, one of their major pre-election pledges being to get the airport up and running again. That was what was said, right?
That's not exactly correct. We will make every attempt to. If at the end of the day the law says we can't, we can't. But we will fight tooth and nail for it if the circumstances fall our way.
Do you think people might be annoyed if the circumstances don't fall your way?
If they see us try, I don't think they will.
Maybe not as solid a promise as some thought then, but boring or not boring, this one-of-a-kind council is still making history every time they meet. This is Graham Stothard for KMTV in Thanet.
In other news, detectives investigating a fatal stabbing in Tunbridge have charged a man with murder. 29-year-old Patrick Murphy from Hetridge Road is accused of stabbing his father to death and injuring his brother. 3 former workers have been found guilty of 28 historic sex offences at a Kent boys' school over a 30-year period. The trio faced a total of 49 charges of molesting children at Swayland School in Penshurst, dating back to 1963. And there's set to be major disruption to Kent's train services this bank holiday weekend due to engineering work. However, a planned strike by Network Rail on Monday has been called off. And finally, a Kent version of one of the country's oldest and most famous documents, the Magna Carta, is going on tour from tomorrow. Jem Collins reports.
It was unveiled for the first time just a few weeks ago, and now Faversham's Magna Carta starts its official tour of the county tomorrow.
I would urge people to come and look at Magna Carta, because not only has it been permanently and consistently right from 1300 been right here in Faversham, so it's rare and unique in this instance, but it also it plays right into today's democracy and the rule of law and all the freedoms that we enjoy as citizens of Britain.
It will be at the Alexander Centre in Faversham until the 28th of June, before moving into Canterbury, Dover and Sandwich, before ending in Rochester Cathedral in December. The document on display won't be a 1215 original, but a reissue that was produced in the year 1300. But the principles laid out in it remain relevant today.
It's England's greatest export that's affected the lives of nearly 2 billion people in over 100 countries, and this is where it was born.
For more details of the tour, you can visit the What's On pages at KentOnline.co.uk. This is Jem Collins for KMTV.
There's more local news on KMFM, and you can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook, but that's it from KMTV.